Hey everyone, Rob here with just a quick update actually on Tropical Cyclone Zane, our newly formed tropical cyclone here just off the northeastern portions of the Queensland coast. Actually, current radar out of Willis Island shows a somewhat organized center of circulation actually off here towards the north. We can kind of see it slowly wrapping around here. With that said, though, it is very weak at this time. Winds right around 35 knots, 64 kilometers per hour, so just barely maintaining the equivalent of a tropical storm intensity, but it is expected to further intensify here as it pushes across the reef. In the far northern Queensland, Willis Island here, where that radar imagery was coming out of, expecting it to kind of move off here towards the west and switching towards the west-northwest, following the overall background flow with the high pressure down here towards the south. That seems rather reasonable. So for you in Cairns, you look like you're going to miss the bulk of this. It's talking about farther towards the north, where you're going to see the bulk of the heavy rainfall and the bulk of the winds coming onshore. And as you can see here, actually, from the warning from the Bureau of Meteorology, the storm has really the bulk of the winds here towards the south. The north, not so much. And there's a few reasons behind this, and one of the main reasons, we are seeing some drier inflow off here towards the north. Lighter winds are going to be accompanying with that because you're not going to have as much convection, as much rotation really around the northern portion. All these gusty winds farther towards the south. Another reason is as that high pressure I mentioned earlier, that is creating these gradient-induced winds between the high and the low, so we are seeing these gusty winds come on shore across much of the Queensland coast. Going to be some rough waves right near the coastlines, but also the rainfall coming on shore. Now, right now, we're looking actually here through Tuesday evening. As we take a look into Wednesday, it starts to push farther and farther towards the west here. Far northern Queensland, north of Lockhart here, well north of Cairns. We're talking about up into the portions of the peninsula here where we're going to see the landfall, but the most of the winds, like I said, are going to be farther down here towards the south. All the winds that are coming onshore. But do I expect damaging winds? Personally, me, not really. Now, I do agree with the Bureau of Meteorology. They are saying that time to start making preparations now if you live anywhere in this region. That is currently under the warnings because there is going to be loose debris blowing around, but nothing really serious. Any structures out here. We are going to see some heavy rainfall, though, coming out of it. Definitely some of the low-lying rivers across coastal areas here are going to be seeing that risk. Anywhere here, actually, you can see with these warnings, zones under the gale warnings, those are going to be the highest at risk for the floods and possibly some very rough waves coming near the coastline, so you're going to see some coastal flooding out of this. Once again, though, that is the winds coming onshore. Remember, this has the clockwise circulation around it, so actually off here, the winds are blowing offshore, so don't expect any coastal flooding really on the extreme northern portions of the peninsula here. Now, according to most recent model runs, also the several agencies continuing to warn on this system. How long is it going to last? Well, we are going to see this landfall going into Wednesday. The bulk of that precipitation as shown here towards the south, the center of circulation. But the good news, looks like it's going to quickly fall apart after it moves on land. All that precipitation is going to fall apart. Should it reform in the Gulf of Carpentaria? At this time, not many indications there, but it is a very hot bathtub of water off into the west here. Is there a risk? I personally think there's possibly, but right now, the highest threat still near the coastlines here, north of Cairns, right around Lockhart, actually, you're going to be seeing the highest risk of some coastal flooding. So, please do go check out Cyclone Chasers. He has a very in-depth video on this, actually about 20 minutes long, go into all the details about how this is going to continue to develop and where it is going to be going next. But as always, though, everybody, stay safe out there, and thanks for watching. Bye.